specific to a certain audience, specific to a certain group of people that I know that I grew up with, and we speak a language. Hollywood doesn't necessarily speak the language. A lot of critics.
It is. The 25th anniversary of the Black Brilliance Awards was supposed to be a celebration, a tribute to Black brilliance that was unapologetic and star-studded with exceptional performers. Every name was more prominent than the one that came before it, including Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Lil Wayne, Mariah Carey, Denzel Washington, and others. On the other hand, just as the champagne began to flow and the cameras began to scan across grins adorned with diamonds, a storm was silently brewing on the red carpet, and the name of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry was buzzing around everyone's mouths. She was not even present because, as the spotlight was dancing across velvet gowns and glossy tuxedos, media mogul Tyler Perry dropped a quiet bomb. It was just 6 words spoken in a hushed voice to a mutual acquaintance. And it was that she owes me more than I anticipated. There was a tone that was cold, the timing was surgical, and there was fallout. Oh, Meghan was in a red frenzy. Let's go back in time to get some perspective. Oh, are you of African descent?
Or specific to a certain audience, specific to a certain group of people that I know that I grew up with, and we speak a language. Hollywood doesn't necessarily speak the language.
Not a single critic is heard. It's not enough to say that Tyler Perry is a director or an actor, a man whose production footprint spans beyond cinema, streaming, and network television, including a multi-year pact with BET that practically made him their creative North Star. He is an empire in a human body. He is a man who has a human body. Furthermore, Meghan was not merely a casual acquaintance. She was more than that. In point of fact, Tyler Perry had been her physical safe haven at one point in time. Remember that terrible moment in the year 2020 when Meghan and Harry resigned down from their royal duties and the crown stripped them of their protection and left them hanging? It was Tyler Perry who opened his Beverly Hills property to them. It was Tyler Perry who flew in private protection at his own expense. And it was Tyler Perry who, for a period of time, was Meghan's unofficial Hollywood godfather and was her ride or die. Therefore, when he makes a cryptic and sharp statement about a debt during the dark event that receives the most attention during the year, it not only hurts, but it explodes completely. According to witnesses, the remark was made during a private conversation that took place on the red carpet. Perry, who was dressed in a stylish charcoal tux, was seen having a lively but hushed chat with a longtime Hollywood publicist. This publicist is someone who has a strong connection to both Meghan and the media elite. Initially, it consisted of the typical banter that occurs on the red carpet, such as congratulations, small talk, and comments of his new television series, Divorced Sisters, which was making its debut that week. But then there was a change in the atmosphere. The look on Perry's face became more stern, and he then dropped the remark that froze everyone within earshot into silence. To my surprise, she owes me more than one might anticipate. With that, 6 words that held the weight of history, animosity, and possibly even a little bit of sorrow that they carried. Perry did not provide any further explanation, which further muddled the situation. He did not identify any specific individuals. Meghan was not spoken out loud by him. However, to those who are familiar with their history, and to those who are truly aware of the clandestine relationships that Hollywood maintains, even though he was not required to go backstage, the phones began to ring. As public relations representatives hurried to get the word out, Meghan Markle, who was located thousands of miles away, was already aware of the situation. A source close to Meghan stated that she was taken aback not only by the message, but also by the person who sent it. This is due to the fact that Tyler was not only a friend, but also a symbol. He was one of the few A-list figures who had publicly supported Meghan during a time when even the royal family had turned their backs on Meghan. His words felt less like a comment and more like a betrayal. She experienced a sense of being ambushed. It was not the publicity that caused her to be distraught, according to the source. Rather, it was the fact that he perpetrated the tragedy. A question that is currently on everyone's mind is, what exactly is Meghan obligated to pay? Perry, Tyler. When it comes to Hollywood, we are not just talking about money. Reliability, gratitude, and reciprocity are the true forms of currency. According to some with knowledge of the situation, Perry did not simply open his home. The gesture that Perry made in the year 2020 cost him upwards of $300,000 in terms of security people, logistics, and legal support, according to a Hollywood executive. He moved moved mountains. There was no one else who would protect her, but Tyler did. An insider asked, but what did he receive in return for his efforts? Silence, remoteness, and not even a cameo of any kind in the Netflix documentary. Indeed, despite the fact that he played a significant role in assisting Meghan and Harry in their transition into American life, Tyler was conspicuously absent from their highly anticipated documentary series on Netflix titled Harry and Meghan. And for a man who established an empire by sharing stories of family, betrayal, and forgiveness, that omission struck a chord deep within him. There was no sit-down interview, no emotional film, and no reference other than a voiceover. While all was going on, Meghan's response was hardly quiet. According to sources, she made a number of calls on the same evening in an effort to obtain more information. Had I made a mistake? What was the calculation? Is he attempting to put anything between them or to harm her? With Meghan raging behind the scenes, Tyler Perry was prospering on stage, putting on a show that was just incredible.
Including entertainment mogul Tyler Perry, who offered up his Beverly Hills mansion to Meghan and Harry.
It is. In addition to commemorating the 25th anniversary of its founding, BT also gave tribute to Perry himself. One of the most impactful speeches of the evening was delivered by him, and it was about the importance of maintaining black tales, elevating communities, and remaining rooted in faith. And the audience went absolutely wild for it, giving him a standing ovation, crying in the crowd, and making headlines in the media praising him as the conscience of the society. All of this occurred while Meghan's name was trending for all the wrong reasons. So let's be honest, this was not a simple occurrence. There is no longer any room for accidents in Hollywood. It does controlled leaks, planned whispers, and calculated honesty, and the time couldn't have been worse for Meghan, at least, because she recently announced her own media comeback, a health/lifestyle brand that had previously experienced fire for its tone-deaf price and soft launch. The timing could not have been worse for Meghan. She was in need of velocity. The one person she believed she could rely on had just sent a signal to the whole business, and she needed allies more than ever before. I am no longer acting as a substitute for her. And with that, we arrive at the more comprehensive picture. I've been wondering who would be left in Meghan's corner if Tyler Perry were to take a step back.
With you all week, from Carrie's ceremony, last night premiere, and now this.
In different fashion every day.
And different. You too. And now this moment.
The Obamas have become subdued. Over a year has passed since Oprah last made a public statement regarding Meghan. With Perry's subtle but seismic move, the issue is loud and obvious. Has Meghan finally burned out her last bit of Hollywood goodwill? Netflix is apparently contemplating future partnerships. And now with Perry's turn, the question is loud and clear it is. If there is one thing that Tyler Perry understands better than anyone else in the entertainment industry, it is timing. The timing is everything. In the midst of the conversation that was taking place on the red carpet, the man did not just randomly make a cryptic remark regarding Meghan Markle. The truth is that he chose to make that statement by selecting the 25th anniversary of the Bet Award, which was a night that celebrated not only black achievement, but also his own legacy. It was a moment that he almost owned, and it was a stage that he had helped build. When he made the statement that she owes me more than what one could anticipate, it was not only a passing remark, rather it was a signal, and those who were familiar with the Hollywood language of subtext were aware of the exact meaning of what he was trying to convey. This door is about to close. Let's look into this further. It is possible to assert that there was a guy, which is evidence that it does exist. Meghan's ascent to the top of the Hollywood monarchy has always been precarious. There is little doubt that the British tabloids portrayed her as the outsider, the victim, and the courageous voice that stood against the company. However, in the actual industrial circles of Los Angeles, she was not considered to be a creative force. She was viewed as a public relations volcano, complete with smoke, mirrors, and shooting angles.
These two people love each other. They found each other out of all these odds against them finding each other, they found each other, and the love that they have.
While people all over the world were discussing Meg Sid and royal decorum, Perry immediately took action. Through his estate in Beverly Hills, he presented Meghan and Harry with his 8-team estate. It was he who brought in reliable security personnel that had a lot of muscle. According to reports, Harry even offered Meghan emotional and spiritual support by praying with her during the times when she was experiencing the most anxiety. The only thing he asked for in return was devotion and a feeling of acknowledgement. He did not ask for money or a favor from the corporate world. Perry, however, however, was gradually pushed out of the entertainment industry once the royal couple secured a deal with Netflix and began to shape their new brand. Not a single producer credit was given to him. He was not invited to act as the headliner for any story. It was brought to the attention of Hollywood insiders that he was not even publicly honored at the time. This is due to the fact that in this profession, credit is currency, and Perry had provided Meghan with a fortune in covert assistance without receiving anything in return. Moving forward in time to the BET Awards in the year 2025. The instant Perry made his comment, damage control had already begun to kick in. In order to explain the comment, Mole informed us that Meghan's team went into full contain and spin mode, calling connections in the entertainment industry to provide context for the new narrative Tyler was joking about. A rift does not exist. There are some people who do not believe Meghan's love for him. If Tyler Perry wanted to joke, he would have done it on stage with Kevin Hart, claimed a publicist from Hollywood who spoke off the record. That red carpet moment, that was strategic. That was a soft warning, said the publicist. And this is where things become even more complicated. The news was extremely unsettling for Prince Harry, according to insiders close to the Sussex family, who shared their thoughts on the matter. He saw Perry as a real lifeline, someone who gave safety when the British press had painted a target on their backs. This is in contrast to Meghan, who views Perry as a potential threat. In light of the fact that the rumor about the red carpet made headlines, it is said that Harry pushed Meghan to get in touch with him and clarify the situation before it escalated. Reportedly, Meghan did not agree to the proposal. According to one source, she felt deceived, and she indicated that she was not going to pursue someone who, in her opinion, had just humiliated her in public. As a power, it is. We are familiar with this pattern. Meghan quickly moves up the ranks. You will either be with her or you will be obliterated. While this was going on, the BET Awards presentation continued to go on, as it was glittering, forceful, and unforgettable.
Rating 25 years of BET, of excellence.
Kevin Hart's opening monologue was sharp. Kendrick Lamar's live performance of Blood Ties was electrifying, and Mariah Carey's tribute segment, in which she walked out draped in custom couture, had the crowd singing every note. However, every time Tyler Perry appeared on screen, whether he was introducing the cast of his new show or giving a heartfelt speech about legacy, the audience felt the tension increasing. A new narrative was about to take shape, and there was a new edge. It has come to the attention of fans that the individual who provided Meghan Markle with a means of escape is finally sick of being taken for granted. The number of online forums increased. A number of tweets, including one from Perry, which finally articulated what we were all thinking, and whether or not this is the beginning of the Meghan exodus in Hollywood, went viral. It wasn't simply rumors, it was a shift in the way the general people perceived things in real time. This is yet another thing that does nothing but add gasoline to the flames. In Tyler Perry's most recent BET series, Divorced Sisters, a drama that revolves around loyalty, betrayal, and starting over, there is a character that many people believe is loosely inspired by Meghan herself. This character is a biracial woman who leaves a high-profile relationship and becomes a media darling while slowly alienating everyone who has ever helped her. The fact that this is happening could be a coincidence, but this is Tyler Perry, a man who has built an empire by writing about his life. Consequently, when art begins to imitate life in such a close manner, you can sure that it is done on purpose. Things are not looking good at Meghan's camp where they are right now. She is unable to move forward with the launching of her podcast. Her new product company is being shamed online for peddling privileged well-being to working mothers. And now this public shade from someone who once welcomed her into his house as family is being directed toward her. This is not merely a public relations issue. This is a crisis of identity, because if Perry is finished defending her, who is left? The Obamas have been radio silence for a long time, and after stories circulated that Meghan and Harry attempted to upstage them at several private occasions, Oprah's crew has respectfully denied any further on-camera appearances. After experiencing engagement figures on Live to Lead and Spotify that were less than impressive, Netflix has tempered its enthusiasm. Obviously, we all witnessed how things transpired, with one executive referring to the couple as grifters. The only things that are left are a brand, an Instagram page, and a Rolodex of influential allies that is getting less. There is a cruel irony here. In a previous interview, Meghan stated that the most significant decision I have ever made was to choose myself. When it comes to Hollywood, however, choosing yourself yourself is only successful if other people choose you as well. In addition, when someone like Tyler Perry takes a step back, it is not enough to simply express disappointment. It also communicates that sentiment to the rest of the business. It's time for you to stop acting. Some supporters are still holding out hope that they may be able to reconcile. They are of the opinion that Tyler's comment was more of a prod than a blow, a public way of saying, you still owe me, not just financially, but emotionally, and I'm done waiting quietly. Nevertheless, Meghan, according to the sources, she is not interested in making things right. According to a former member of staff, she is fed up with the fact that she is constantly required to provide an explanation for herself. She believes that the world ought to automatically trust her narrative, and when they do not, she leaves. On the other hand, it is impossible to avoid Tyler Perry. Not in this town, not after the doors he opened, and not after the reputation he helped to establish. Also,
and I'm gonna do right in front of y'all, because I know a lot of times, you know, when we get...
During the last moments of the BET Awards, Tyler Perry was standing on the edge of the stage, watching everything that was going on. Denzel Washington was receiving a standing ovation, and confetti was falling over a crowd that was cheering. He did not appear to be condescending or arrogant in any way. He appeared to be liberated from the duty to remain silent, liberated from a friendship that may, just might, have reached its conclusion. And as the credits rolled, Meghan Markle's name was not mentioned in any way, shape, or form. Not in a thank you, not in a cameo, not in a whisper, nothing. At times, silence is more powerful than a headline, and at other times, a debt that is not paid becomes a story that you will never be able to forget. Now that the smoke from the red carpet has cleared and the confetti from the BET Awards has been dusted off the floor of the Dolby Theater, the question that has been lingering in every part of the entertainment world like cheap perfume is, what is Meghan Markle going to do about this situation? For the simple reason that if you are familiar with Meghan, or at the very least the version that Hollywood has come to know, then you are aware of one thing for certain. She does not die without a counter story. She plots, she pivots, and she strategizes. And that is exactly what those who are on the inside say is going on behind closed doors right now. Let's begin with the first obvious step, which is damage control. I see.
This sort of, even by Meghan's standard, this strange blizzard of activity on social media. You know, just every 3 seconds is something new. Picture of
Meghan's camp went into full reputation triage mode less than 24 hours after the soundbite delivered by Tyler Perry went viral on social media platforms such as Twitter and Reddit, as well as on black gossip websites like as Lipstick Alley and the Neighborhood Chat. Meghan's team reportedly started reaching out to sympathetic media outlets, mainly legacy media outlets in Europe and North America, with carefully framed rebuttals, according to a confidential public relations consultant who spoke with us. Tyler Perry's statements were misunderstood with the intention of increasing the number of headlines. Although Meghan continues to express her gratitude, this is the point at which the plan began to fail. No longer is the year 2020 today. There was an innate feeling of compassion for Meghan back then. The courageous woman who fled the palace walls and had the courage to tell Oprah the truth was the Duchess who had been wronged, the royal rebel, and the courageous woman. On the other hand, the year 2025 has arrived, and the court of public opinion has become increasingly dubious, if not completely cynical. When it comes to this particular instance, folks are not as ready to buy into the misunderstood woman aspect, particularly when the person on the other side of the repercussions is Tyler freaking Perry. You simply cannot outplay a man who built his billion-dollar enterprise by mastering empathy, suffering, forgiveness, and loyalty. You simply cannot outplay him. Even so, Meghan has not been deterred from making plans for her comeback. She is reportedly working on a new documentary series under the umbrella of her budding production firm, American Riviera Orchard Productions, according to our sources. The catch is that this time it is not about Meghan. Rather, it is about black female entrepreneurs who have overcome betrayal, shattered friendships, and media manipulation. Meghan is purportedly interested in bringing attention to these businesswomen. As for the term unshaken, yes, it is a subtle shade that is presented on a silver tray since everyone with a brain can read between the lines. Please include broken friendships, media manipulation, and a female leader who is misunderstood. This is not only a television commercial, it is a revenge that has been properly coded. However, let us not pretend that Perry has not moved on since. If Meghan is circling the wagons, then Perry is expanding the kingdom. The announcement of a new streaming deal with Paramount Global was made on stage during the awards ceremony, which resulted in a significant increase in the amount of money that his BET empire received. In addition to launching 2 new shows this year, he is also finishing off a film trilogy that is set in Atlanta after the civil rights movement.
Outside the prince's home in London.
In addition to this, it has been claimed that he is currently in discussions with Barack Obama regarding a historical drama that will be produced by Higher Ground. Oh sure, while Meghan is frantically trying to regain her social capital, Perry is scheduling significant meetings with former presidents. There is no such thing as a flex, that is checkmate. Now, let's take a step back for a moment and realize that what we are seeing is not simply a trivial celebrity feud. When someone like Tyler Perry takes even a slight dig, it sends ripples through every area of the industry, from publicists to streaming executives to talent agencies. This shift in Hollywood loyalties is a result of the fact that it sends waves through the industry. The message that it is now okay to distance oneself from Meghan is being communicated, and the repercussions are already being seen. Meghan's camp apparently attempted to establish a partnership with Ava DuVernay, another influential black filmmaker who is recognized for crafting stories that are socially conscious during the last month. However, the transaction was unsuccessful and the cooperation did not take place. A second source states that Meghan had the intention of hosting a panel at the Essence Festival in 2025. However, the organizers, who were reportedly shaken up by the Perry incident, graciously denied her request. There is no coincidence in that. As a consequence, that is. The fact that this is not coming from a British tabloid is the reason why this is more painful than any other headline that Meghan has ever been subjected to till now. Piers Morgan is not the one who is angry on air. I'm not talking about some royal biographer who is selling petty opinions. This is Tyler Perry, a man who commands respect across racial, social, and professional lines. A man whose name has spiritual weight in addition to the famous clout that he possesses. Not only is it a public relations hit, but it is also a moral judgment when he is finished with you. As for Meghan, she is aware of it. Consequently, she is currently re-evaluating her entire Hollywood strategy. As stated by those with knowledge of the situation, according to one of our sources, she is aware that the wellness lane is not functioning properly. Her Goop 2.0 is not what the public wants. What she needs right now is credibility, not aesthetics. This implies that she should work more with non-profit organizations, work on more serious documentaries, and sell fewer luxury candles and jam jars that are expensive. But once more, it might be too little, too late, since if Tyler Perry isn't supporting your comeback, who else is? And let's not forget the Harry aspect in all of this, because while Meghan is frantically trying to ensure her future, Prince Harry has apparently been trying to re-engage with his British roots. It was recently reported that Harry went to the United Kingdom on a low-key vacation by himself, without Meghan, which sparked rumors that he is attempting to mend fences with the royal family. What if this is the beginning of things, of a long-term separation, not in a romantic sense, but in a professional sense? The greatest way to put it was by a royal pundit. Evidently, Perry is looking for healing. The headlines and Tyler are what Meghan wants. Perry, he desired none of them. The only thing he wanted was respect, and when he didn't receive it, he quietly reclaimed his control. That being said, what does this mean for Meghan Markle? As long as she plays her cards well, she is still wealthy, she is still fashionable, and she is still capable of pulling off a rebranding. However, the game has altered, and the player that she underestimated, the one who provided her with refuge and then withdrew it with 6 words that were precisely timed, is still 10 steps ahead of her. To my surprise, she owes me more than one might anticipate. It was a verdict, not a burn. That was what happened. It is not usually the case that you are granted a second chance in Hollywood. Is the comment made by Tyler Perry a betrayal or a boundary that has finally been drawn? Additionally, do you believe that Meghan will be able to recover from this? Or are we witnessing the gradual disintegration of the Markle machine in real time? Because loyalty is not something that can be purchased with favors in Tinseltown. Because it is constructed with respect. Once that supply is depleted, no castle or California house will be able to save you. I will see you in the next one.